Hello everyone. Welcome to Wisdom Invest, where we discuss that how we can make our own investment decisions. So let's quickly talk today about the semiconductor industry, and then we are going to talk about one semiconductor stock, which is a monopoly in Europe and all over the world. So let's quickly begin. So today I'm going to talk about the stock called ASML, which is a semiconductor stock, and the company is located in Netherlands. Here on the picture you can see this lithographic machine which they make, and it's the only company that makes this lithographic machine. So let's understand what ASML does and how it does, and then we are going to discuss the fundamentals and the technicals of the company. So what is ASML business? ASML business or ASML holding is a shortened form of Advanced Semiconductor Materials Lithography. It is a Dutch multinational corporation which was founded in 1984. It was initially owned by Philips, and then they sold this in a long back as an IPO, and now it is an individual company, and basically it is a pioneer in photolithography, which is required for the manufacturing of the computer chips. So it is more like that they do photolithography or create a blueprint on the transistor circuitry using the photoelectric waves, and then this photolithographic system is then sent for the manufacturing of the IC circuits. So one of the biggest customers is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, which is having around 42% of the supply from ASML. And after that, it is Samsung and Intel, who are the big customers of ASML. Let us understand a little more about semiconductor industry to understand better what's really there. So here I'm trying to simplify the semiconductor ecosystem for you. So if we check semiconductor market, well, it has a lot of subdivisions, but we can broadly say that it can be divided into fabless, foundry, the fabrication and design, and the assembly and testing. However, if we really subdivide, there is a very big ecosystem which is becoming the supplier of foundries, of the fabrication and design, the chemicals which are used for assembly and testing, etc., etc. But broadly, all these companies are working for these uh, four main subsidiaries, you can say. So for fabless systems, basically it means that the companies that own the IP of these applications, or they create the IC patterns or for different components or different applications. So these companies are like Nvidia, Broadcom, AMD, or Marvell Technology. There are other ones which are like a foundry. So in the foundry, they are fabricating ICs or wafers based on the design of the fabless systems. So basically, you can say that they are the fabrication companies. So they are the suppliers of companies like Nvidia. For example, TSMC is one of the biggest suppliers of the semiconductors to Nvidia. Then companies like Samsung, SMIC, they are creating, SMIC is creating super microcontrollers. So these are the ones which are creating foundry, or you can say the subcomponents which will be used in these fabless systems. Then the third category comes is the fabrication and design. So these are companies which are working specifically on the different electronic components which are used to integrate and create an integrated circuit. And then they are also doing the fabrication. So this sometimes a lot of foundries are also involved in the fabrication and design. So you can say, for example, Intel was also doing some foundry job and also the IDM job. And then you have the different assembly and testing which is done, and that is like the packaging and testing of IC technologies. And there are many companies. I have put on just one, that is like Amcor. However, there are many companies which are coming up specialized in different ICs and technology. So with this knowledge, let us come back to ASML and understand that how ASML is a good company, what is the growth, and understand that how it really fits into this ecosystem. So now, nowadays, the semiconductor market is quite flourishing. You can see that a lot of semiconductor companies are now getting into the Magnificent Seven. Nvidia has already become 2.3 trillion, and you can see a lot of growth in almost all the semiconductors company. However, we need to also identify that which companies can have the big moat over here. Secondly, how can there be growth? Because otherwise, if we just invest in each and every company, we have a risk of losing the money, because we need to understand also the basic risks which are involved with this semiconductor market. So the semiconductor market basically is a cyclical market, as we all know. Most of the market of the manufacturing of semiconductors is concentrated in China and Taiwan, and that is one of the reasons that this is the company which this is a sector which gets impacted by wars. It can get impacted by any kind of supply chain issues like COVID. So hence it's very important to make a basket investment where we just don't invest, for example, only in Nvidia and AMD, but it is a better idea to invest in the companies which are producing the raw materials for the semiconductors, which are creating semiconductor technology, or any kind of raw material. For example, if they are into manufacturing of the silicon carbide, which is famously used in semiconductors, that could also be a great company where investment can be done. So this is my overall take on how I would like to make investments in semiconductor market. Because if we just make investment in these fabulous companies, they have already gone very high, and it could. And one good idea to make money is to invest in the pick and shovel companies, where I think ASML stands, because ASML is a supplier to almost all the semiconductors which are existing on the market. So none of the semiconductors company can work without it. So it's a B2B market, and that is why I think it's a very interesting market to understand. So let us understand that why is the ASML stock falling. One reason, as I said, that there is always an external risk which the semiconductor market is always facing. That is that the Dutch government is scrambling to keep as ASML in Netherlands. However, the problem is that the Dutch government, this is a labor-intensive company where 23,000 employees of ASML are immigrants, and therefore it is very important that there are certain rules of immigration which are not allowing ASML to hire candidates from other countries, and therefore Dutch government is ASML is proposing, if should we leave in Netherlands. So therefore this stock has been falling. The other reason which we can see is, we also see that in the US, the allies to tighten China's access to chip technology is increasing, and US has constantly been putting pressure that not to provide technology to China for manufacturing, and this is one of the reasons also that ASML has been falling. Now these are external reasons. However, we really need to see that how ASML has performed lately, and what is the balance sheet and the technical chart saying, if it is really making any promises of growth for now. Fundamental analysis. Basically, I evaluate the company based on its market cap and evaluation, its revenue growth, the strong free cash flow, and debt, and the investor's interest. Now, by investor interest, I mean to say that where is the smart money flowing? Smart money is like the promoter's interest, and the people who and the companies, if there are any big investors involved into the trade. So this is what I mean by overall things which I look at a fundamentally good stock. So let's check the income statement of ASML Holdings. You can see that the revenue has been constantly increasing. From 13,000 in 2019 to 30,000 million, and here the growth has been also very good, from 8% to 30%. The cost of revenues, as we see, of course, it has increased and that's not a good sign. However, still overall the profit is very high. The growth profit margin, it looks to be good since all the years, and overall we can say that this company is delivering growth. When we go next, we can see that they have increased their R&D expenses. Their R&D expenses have been higher. They are also having their operating expenses as a result have gone quite high, but still we can say that it's normal when the company is investing into R&D. Of course, the R&D expenses will go higher. You can see the EBITDA. EBITDA, it has increased, and the net income has also increased. So overall, net, this is a growth company. It's giving good growth as of now, and you can see that the net income of the stockholders has overall increased. It has no preferred dividends, and no shareholding as such. And the EPS, the overall EPS has increased. The diluted EPS is 21 from 15, which is a very good sign. You can also check the EBITDA, which has increased from 7,400 to 10,707. And overall, this company looks in its good growth. It shows all signs of good growth. So when we go to the balance sheet, we will have a look at a few more things. You can see that the cash equivalent has not changed, and they are not having a lot of short-term investments as such. Rather, their inventory has quite increased. Their prepaid expenses have decreased. However, you can see that because of the inventory, the total current assets have increased a little. You will also see that the property, plant, and equipment, it has increased a little, and of course they have invested on the machinery. Their long-term investments have also increased, and the goodwill has also increased. So basically, if you see, which is now the goodwill is something which is like the investment which they have done in their marketing, you can say, and that has become like an asset because that is something which is attributing to them. Now, when you look at the long-term assets, they have also increased. So their long-term assets have increased, and they are from 38 million to 44 million, which is a good sign overall. If you see the account payable, it has decreased a little, and the accrued payable has increased. And if we check it, that we can see that overall the current liabilities have more or less remained the same. But so there is not a lot of change, just a little bit of decrease in the liabilities, which is again a good sign. If you check the long-term debt, it has increased. However, overall, you don't see a lot of change in things of the total liability. So now we can check that in the common stock, you have the retained earnings, which have gone higher. The treasury stock has got lesser because some of the debt has been paid. However, you can see that overall the equity, they have a good equity as of now. So we will see a good impact, I think, on the cash flow as well. So you can very well see that the total debt has not increased. If it has not decreased, it is not so much, just by 5 million, and this change is pretty much acceptable. Now let's go on the cash flow. So you can check that the net income of the stockholders has increased, as we already saw that the stock is was going higher and has just been a little bit lower in some days, last few days. So you can see the depreciation up and amortization that has been discounted over here. And if you check the cash from operations, it has decreased a little. Basically, it is because their inventories, there has been a little bit of change in inventories, and there is more depreciation which has been accounted over here. So when we go back to the cash from investing, the cash from investing has decreased a little, as they had some other investments which was followed, and which is okay, doesn't matter. And the long-term debt issued has actually been increased. So as of now, we can see that there has been an increase in the operations. cash flow from operations. However, a decrease in the cash from financing and cash from the investing activities, which is quite okay. And this is a sign of a growth company that if this is happening, and what we can see that if there are any, so as of now they have enough cash it seems, and the leverage free cash flow is also kind of okay. So overall, I see this company as a growth company. And now let us see on the technical side that how this stock has been performing to understand if this is the right time to invest in ASML stock. So when I invest in a stock and look at the technical charts, basically I try to identify the trend analysis, the momentum and the volatility. And also I try to do the volume analysis to understand that what has been the interest, or in case we are trying to define a point or a pivot point where the selling or the buying is happening, we also check what is the volume. So let us now go on the technical charts and understand what's happening. So here is an overall chart for ASML. You can see that this stock was not trading at very high until 2024. In fact, it was always below the level of 695. However, after that, this stock has given good growth. Now, what we can see here is that this stock gave a rally from 2024 up till up till up till 951, which is like around March, and now it is this stock is falling a little bit. Now, what can happen in this stock on the technical side? If we check, you can see that there is a clear cup and handle pattern which is getting formed in the stock of ASML. So when we check, we can create like a small cup and another handle. And how do we determine that what will be the upside on the stock? We determine by the length of the cup or length of the handle. So here this is the length of the cup, and we place it just above, and we identify that what is the maximum length at which it can go. And you can see that at 844 it started showing a little bit of consolidation, and then after this stock still went up, and now it has been of the length of the primary cup. You can see that this stock could have probably gone till 1,000. However, it gave a breakdown before that. So now the stock has given a breakdown over here. The chances are that if in case this weakness continues and the stock falls down up till 704, it could be a great stock to invest, because once this stock falls down over here, it can retest once again and go back to 1,000 or even more than that. Now, why this can happen? It is because overall the balance sheet or the fundamentals look good. However, we still have some risk associated with this stock, which can take this stock lower. But at this point, when the evaluation is good, I'm sure that there would be some certain good news by which this stock can trail and go higher. So, if you ask me, is this the good moment to invest in ASML? I would say no. Let the stock come back to at least 699, or at least in the range of 700. If the stock comes out at that range, you can once again invest and take advantage of the next rally or the next momentum which this stock can face. Until then, it's a good idea to wait. So here I complete my analysis. Please care to look at my videos which are there at Wisdom Invest. I had recently uploaded a video on Tesla and on its movement. In fact, the movement of Tesla is the same, and you might like to check few videos to get a better understanding. So thanks a lot. Hit that subscribe button and meet you next in the next video.